on the scarred and contested plains of the Donetsk Oblast. The focus of the ground war has shifted with brutal intensity to the Pokrovsk direction, where Russian forces are executing a major and deeply concerning offensive operation. This sector, centered around the vital logistical and industrial city of Pokrovsk, has become the scene of some of the most ferocious fighting of the entire conflict. A successful Russian advance here would represent a significant operational victory for Moscow, potentially unhinging Ukraine's defense posture in the Donbas and opening a direct path for further westward pushes toward the administrative border of the Dnipropetrovsk region. The current Russian assault is not a minor tactical adjustment, but a large-scale, deliberate, and well-resourced campaign designed to exploit Ukrainian vulnerabilities and achieve a decisive breakthrough. The situation on the ground has become increasingly critical for Ukrainian defenders, who are stretched to their limits by the sheer weight of the Russian onslaught. The tactical picture on the ground is one of slow, grinding, and incredibly costly Russian advances. Following their capture of the fortress city of Avdiivka earlier in the year, Russian military command has systematically funneled troops and equipment to build on that success, relentlessly pressing westward. In recent weeks, this pressure has yielded tangible results for Moscow. Russian units have managed to secure a foothold in and subsequently capture a series of small villages and settlements that form the outer defensive belt protecting the approaches to Pokrovsk. The battle for the settlement of Authoritative, a town situated on a critical high ground and railway line, proved to be a pivotal moment. A sudden and rapid Russian breakthrough in this area created a dangerous salient or bulge in the Ukrainian lines. This tactical success allowed Russian forces to bypass heavily fortified Ukrainian positions and began to envelop them from the north, forcing a series of Ukrainian withdrawal to avoid encirclement. This single breakthrough has had a cascading effect, destabilizing the entire defensive line in the area and compelling the Ukrainian general staff to rush reinforcement to prevent a wider collapse. The fall of Authoritative was followed by intense fighting for surrounding villages, with Russian troops applying immense pressure from multiple axes, pushing deeper into the Pokrovsk rayon or district. The main objective is clear: to advance far enough to bring the city of Pokrovsk within range of standard tube artillery, thereby making its role as a primary Ukrainian logistic and command hub untenable. The tactic employed by the Russian military in the Pokrovsk directions are a continuation of the strategy that has proven effective for them in other parts of the Donbas. It is a strategy built on overwhelming firepower. The advances are preceded by what can only be described as a systematic effort to obliterate everything in the path of the ground troops. Russian aviation plays a central role in these. Su-34 and Su-35 fighter bombers, flying just outside the range of most of Ukraine's battlefield air defense, are launching hundreds of guided aerial bombs known as FABs every single day. These bombs, which range from 500 kilograms to a massive 1,500 kilograms, are fitted with sample wing kits and satellite guidance system, turning them into powerful standoff weapons. They are incredibly destructive, capable of leveling fortified concrete bunkers, trench system, and entire building with a single strike. This aerial bombardment is supplemented by a near constant and unrelenting barrage of artillery fire. Russian forces are firing tens of thousands of shells daily, a volume that Ukrainian gunners simply cannot match. This fire roller tactics aim to suppress all Ukrainian movement, destroy fortifications, and inflict heavy casualties before the infantry assault even begins. Following this massive preparatory bombardment, Russian ground forces move forward. These assaults often consist of both armored columns and large numbers of infantry, while sometimes characterized as meat assault, with poorly trained troops sent forward in human waves to probe defense and exhaust Ukrainian ammunition supplies. The tactics have also shown signs of evolution. Russian units are increasingly using smaller, more agile assault groups that attempt to infiltrate Ukrainian position, often under the cover of electronic warfare that disrupt Ukrainian communication and drone operation. These infantry attacks are relentless, coming in wave after wave, putting defenders under continuous physical and psychological pressure. The sheer mass of men and material being thrown into this single sector of the front is a clear indication of the high priority that the Russian military command has placed on achieving a breakthrough here. For the Ukrainian soldiers tasked with defending this ground, the situation is extraordinarily difficult. The primary and most critical challenge they face is a severe and persistent shortage of artillery ammunition. The disparity in firepower is immense. Ukrainian artillery crews are often forced to ration their shells, firing only at the most high-value targets, while their Russian counterparts can fire indiscriminately to level entire grid square. This shell hunger prevents them from effectively conducting counter-battery fire to destroy Russian artillery piece and from firing on Russian troops' concentrations to break up assault before they reach Ukrainian trenches. These single factors has a profound impact on the entire defensive effort and is a direct cause of the high casualty rates and the loss of territory. In addition to the lack of ammunition, the Ukrainian military is grappling with a serious manpower shortage. The units that have been holding the lines in the Donbas have been in continuous combat for many months, some for over a year without adequate rotation. They are physically and mentally exhausted, and their rank have been depleted by casualties. While a new and controversial mobilization law has been passed to bring more soldiers into the army, the process of training and equipping these new recruits and integrating them into combat units take a significant amount of time. On the front line near Pokrovsk, this means that existing brigades are understrength and stretched thin, often responsible for holding a wider section of the front than they are designed to. The nature of the terrain in this part of Donetsk also presents a challenge. The landscape is characterized by wide open field, offering little natural cover or concealment. This makes it difficult to dig in and build robust fortifications, especially when under constant Russian artillery and drone observation. The fall of Avdiivka exposed significant weaknesses in the preparedness of Ukraine's secondary and territory defense line. While a frantic effort is now underway to construct new lines of trenches, concrete bunkers, and Dragon's Teeth anti-tank obstacle for the west, the speed of the Russian advance has in some places outpaced the construction of these new defenses, forcing Ukrainian troops to try and hold their ground in hastily prepared and less defensible position. The human cost of this battle is immense. For the Ukrainian soldiers in the trenches, it is a daily struggle for survival against a tide of steel and fire. They face constant bombardment that can cause concussions even in deep bunkers. The ever-present threats of FPV drones and their harrowing experience of facing waves of enemy infantry, the physical and mental toll is enormous. The fighting has also had a devastating impact on the civilian population. As the Russian front line inches closer, the city of Pokrovsk itself, which had a pre-war population of over 60,000, is now increasingly coming under direct fire from long-range Russian artillery and missiles. A systematic evacuation of civilians has been underway for weeks, with police and volunteers going door to door pleading with the remaining residents to leave. The road leading west from the city are filled with cars piled high with belongings carrying families fleeing the advancing war. Pokrovsk, once a bustling hub, is transforming into a ghost town. Its street empty and its building bearing the fresh scars of shell impacts. In response to the crisis, the Ukrainian military command has been forced to make difficult decisions. They are rushing valuable and battle-hardened reserve units to the Pokrovsk sector in an attempt to stabilize the line, plug the gaps, and slow the Russian advance. This includes redeploying some of their most capable brigades from other quieter sectors of the front, a risky move that could create vulnerabilities elsewhere. On the battlefield, Ukrainian forces are relying heavily on their own ingenuity, particularly the widespread and effective use of first-person view or FPV drones. These small, agile drones, often assembled by volunteers and costing only a few $100s each, have become a potent asymmetric weapon. Skilled Ukrainian drone operators are using them to hunt and destroy Russian tanks, armored vehicles, and infantry squad with remarkable precision. This drone war has helped to level the playing field to some extent, but militarily, analysts are clear that while drones are a vital tool, they cannot fully substitute for the lack of artillery shells, robust air defense, and sufficient numbers of trained infantry. Drones can win skirmishes and destroy equipment, but they cannot hold ground on their own. The strategic implications of the battle for Pokrovsk are being watched with intense concerns in Western capital. In Washington, the situation is being closely monitored by President Donald Trump. National Security Team Director of National Intelligence Tulsi Gabbard is providing the president with regular intelligence briefing on the stability of the Ukrainian front line, with a particular focus on the potential for Russian operational level breakthrough in the Donetsk region. The Pentagon, under Secretary of Defense Peter Hegseth, is in constant communication with Ukraine's military leadership. There is a deep concern among American military planners that the tactical gains made by Russia near Pokrovsk could, if not contained, be exploited to create a much larger collapse in the Ukrainian defensive line. The advance serves as a stark and brutal illustration of the real-world consequences of delay and shortfall in the delivery of Western military aid, particularly the artillery ammunition that Ukraine so desperately needs. Secretary of State Marco Rubio is reportedly using the grim situation in Pokrovsk as a central talking point in his discussion with European allies, stressing the urgent need for the entire Western coalition to accelerate production and delivery of military supplies to Ukraine. The message is clear. Without a rapid and substantial increase in support, Ukraine's ability to hold the line in the Donbas is in serious jeopardy. The ongoing battle for the Pokrovsk direction is therefore much more than just a fight for a single city. It is a critical test of the Ukrainian army resilience, a barometer of the effectiveness of Western support, and a struggle that will likely play a decisive role in shaping the future map of the war in eastern Ukraine. Many of my listeners, like 70%, haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel. And so many of you don't even know that you haven't subscribed. And that is actually what makes the show going. It's almost like you're making a donation to the show. So that's why I ask again and again, because it enables us to grow and grow and grow. And we're going for the long haul here. And listen, if this is your first time listening to Soaking Rich, you don't have to subscribe. You guys, your first ones on me. But if you have watched the show before, it's like you're a freeloader now. So all I would ask you is, if you have seen this show before and you like it, help me, help my team here. Hit that subscribe and like button now, and we will continue to build the show for you. That I swear. Thank you to all of you guys who have subscribed. It means a lot to me. Thank you so much. That's all for me for today. I will see you soon. Bye for now.